Company has been given permission to extend its drilling operations in East Yorkshire by a further 3 years. Rathlin Energy has faced continuing protests over its plans to exploit fossil fuel in our area, with some campaigners claiming that the company is paving the way for fracking on an industrial scale. That is a claim that Rathlin denies. Here's our environment correspondent, Paul Murphy.
Not for the first time, protesters descended on County Hall in Beverley. They believe that giving Rathlin Energy permission to extend its drilling operation in East Yorkshire is to allow nothing less than environmental vandalism.
It is total industrialisation of the area.
We're talking about poisoned water. We're talking about a whole host of other factors such as potential drought.
For more than 3 years now, there have been protests about Rathlin's activity in East Yorkshire, amid claims that it is preparing the region for the controversial form of shale gas extraction called fracking. But Rathlin has no licences to do this and says it's only interested in conventional oil and gas exploration. It has 2 sites in East Yorkshire, one at Crawberry Hill near to Walkington, and today Rathlin was applying to extend the duration of its oil and gas drilling operation at West Newton. The application was approved unanimously, and protesters were angered when one councillor said that he didn't know what all the fuss was about. In approving the application, councillors imposed a no fracking condition, but campaigners remained disillusioned with East Riding Council's approach.
We've all seen the leaflets promoting East Riding as Yorkshire's nature triangle. These developments are right in the centre of Yorkshire's nature triangle, but it's worse than that because continued use of fossil fuels mean global warming accelerates.
Rathlin has welcomed today's decision. The well we drilled discovered natural gas. We believe this to be firm evidence of a potentially significant gas field. The approval today is an important step in our programme of operations to determine whether the gas discovery has commercial potential. We will continue to carry out our works in accordance with our permits. East Riding Council says it's backing Rathlin's operation because it believes sufficient safeguards are in place. But that reassurance will not satisfy those who believe our environment is facing a growing risk. Paul Murphy, BBC Look North at County Hall in Beverley.
Well, on this one a little earlier, I spoke to the Beverley and Holderness MP Graham Stewart. I began by asking him if he welcomed Rathlin being given another 3 years to drill at West Newton.
Well, I think they have every right to drill for oil and gas there, and yeah, if that's what it takes, I think that's a good thing.
Well, most people think if they're going to drill for another 3 more years, there must be a reason why, and local people feel nervous that the impact this could have on the countryside. I mean, what do you say to those people? And there are a lot of them. Well,
a lot of people have been, of course, scared by talk of fracking. They're not fracking at West Newton. They're doing conventional oil and gas. Oil exploration is always a challenging business, and it takes time to get it right. But there isn't going to be any fracking on that site. They're doing conventional oil and gas, and let's hope for the benefit of the nation, our energy security, and in the case of gas, lower carbon emissions than burning coal, that they're successful. So
if gas is found, you'd be quite happy for that to be extracted in East Yorkshire. Hypothetically, if a company wanted to frack in East Yorkshire, would your answer be the same?
Well, I'm quite sure that I would rather have gas produced in this country than brought in from Russia or somewhere like that.
So is that yes to fracking?
I don't want to fuel that. Peter, we've had no proposals at all from anybody
but I said
to frack in East Yorkshire.
I said hypothetically.
And Peter, you said it yourself, hypothetically. I'm not in the business hypothetically of giving you answers to things that hypothetically haven't happened yet.
Why do you think then? When you're right, Rathlin have said they're not fracking and they have no connection. You're absolutely right in that. So why are local people still worried then? What can you say to them?
There's so many. Well, I don't know, because when someone from the BBC rings you up, they're saying they're worried about the fracking site at West Newton, even though it's not a fracking site.
Nothing to do with us, people. But you know full well a lot of people are worried about it.
No, I'm just saying. No, I know exactly. And the more that people, when they ring you up just casually, to see if you're available for an interview, mention the word fracking on a site that doesn't have fracking, the more people will be concerned. They're scared that there's something is going on underhand. I can assure my constituents nothing is going to happen around fracking in my constituency in an underhand way if it ever happens at all. And therefore all those, including sometimes those in the media, who make more of it by suggesting there are concerns and repeating it. The way to stop people being scared is to stop falsely giving fire and fuel to those who are suggesting something's happening which isn't happening.
It's obviously all my fault. Mr. Stewart, very good to have you on the programme.
You're just part of the problem, Peter,
I'm part
not
of the
all
problem.
of it.
Thank you very much indeed.
Bye.
Well, another one you might want to comment on, especially if you're in the area. Do you think it's right that the East Yorkshire countryside is explored for oil and gas? You've heard that extra permission to Rathlin for another 3 years. Maybe you're one of those against this extension granted to the company, or maybe you think it's time the campaigners accepted that fracking isn't taking place and dropped their complaints. There's the email address and also the text number 81333. Start the text with the word Look North, wherever you are, but particularly if you're around the East Yorkshire countryside when you've heard that news on the programme tonight. Plenty of response after George Osborne gave his spending review yesterday in the Commons.